what's up everybody? Today we are starting our new series, Hiking With. And yeah, to start us off, I'm joined by Danny Soriano, ¿verdad?
Yeah, Danny Soriano.
Yeah.
What's going on, guys? I'm 22 years old. I've been living in Kansas City for almost 2 years now. I own High Resolution Media, and I've been doing media for a while now. I'm really happy to be their first guest on the podcast, and yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Okay, so where are you from though? Where you move?
So originally, I'm from Imperial Valley, California. So I lived out there up until I was 16, and then my family ended up moving back to the Southwest, to Southwest Kansas, and then I ended up graduating in 2019. I went to high school in Dodge City, which is a little small town out in Southwest Kansas.
Yeah. I know Dodge City.
It has a little history behind it, like Wyatt Earp is from there and whatnot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of history behind it.
My dad, I used to recruit, and my dad, I went there to Dodge City, but my dad was telling me that when he was 15, 16 years old, in Mexico, he would read magazines of old Westerns, and it was placed in Dodge City. And even the city is, like an old Western city.
There was something that they had talked about at the exhibit at the LEC that you guys had, where it's kind of like a route that not all, but most Latinos take, and it's like,
it was there.
If they don't go towards like Texas and Colorado, they'll go through the Southwest and Kansas, and like the Latino population in Dodge is insane, and the Southwest in general is pretty crazy. I feel like people don't realize that a lot, but
liberal también. There's a lot of Latinos there.
Yeah.
Dorothy and the is it the Wizard of Oz? It was placed there. Yeah. So yeah.
But so I lived there for the duration of like my high school years, and as soon as I graduated, I decided that I wanted to move to Colorado. And so I lived there for about 2.5 years, and I enjoyed it. I really loved it, but this was during COVID. And so when I was going to school, I decided to do online, and so it worked out. It wasn't too bad. I ended up not liking it just because, like, I don't know, COVID really demotivated a lot of people, I feel like, to not want to follow through on like online classes and whatnot. But
all your school was online?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And it was crazy because I still had to pay out-of-state tuition. It was weird. It was a
weird
you were home.
dynamic.
Yeah, but I was at home. Yeah, so it was a weird dynamic that I had with school. It was like a love-hate relationship.
Yeah.
And after those, like, couple of years during COVID, I kind of just was like, I'm done with school for now. And, so I didn't really enjoy going to school during COVID. It was awful.
But you finished there and then you moved here?
I actually didn't finish it. No.
Okay.
So I didn't finish at ASU. I ended up going to school for like fire safety and doing something like a trade.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just ended up me having to change with how things were at the time. But I took what I did learn throughout those years, and I kind of just ended up like getting my associates throughout those years that I just had like so many things that I wanted to do, and I just kind of told myself like I should probably finish this before it gets too late. And so I ended up just getting my degree in that, fire safety, and I had like a small associates in like business entrepreneurship. From just like going to community college when I was in Dodge, like my senior year and stuff like that. And so I took what I learned after that year. I think it was probably like 2021, like late 2021 at this point. And I decided to finally kind of reach out and branch out to like a company about maybe me doing some like digital media for them. And so the first brand that I worked with, it was super new to me. Digital media at the time was like booming. And so I really wanted to like grasp onto that, like digital media for sure.
Okay, so talking about the entrepreneurship, how did that came about? Have you always been that way, like self-started, creative?
So I think, I don't know. I think that like for the most part, coming from like a Latino family, I don't know, it kind of just was embedded into me that you can't stay complacent with just having a 9 to 5. You got to do more for yourself. We came here for a bigger reason, you know what I mean? It was just kind of instilled into me for like the longest time. My stepfather, he kind of taught me so many different things as far as like how to run a business. He has his own trucking company, and he started it from the ground up. So we lived in California for up until like 2016, 2015. And so he ended up having to move to Southwest Kansas because the beef plant down there shut down. California is really, really hot, you know what I'm saying? They can't keep up with the cattle as good as they can in the Southwest. And so they really wanted him to transfer to Dodge because he was a really high up supervisor and whatnot, and he was really good at managing people, and he was really good at, I don't know, just managing in general. And so he hated that. He was like, you know what, I'm tired of working at the beef plant. I'm going to show my kids that I can do something else. Okay. And so he started up his own trucking company, and I think I kind of took from that like I could do the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
So he was an inspiration,
Yeah, for sure. Big time.
So he continues right now?
Yeah. Now, so he started off with like driving for somebody else, and he pushed through getting his CDL, and this is like while I'm going to high school. So like he started up a company that he has his own like trucks now, like so quick in like 4 years. And he started off driving for somebody else, and for him to do that so quickly was just insane to me. And so I was like, let's see if I can't do the same.
What are some of the advantages of Latinos, Latino entrepreneurs?
You know, I think being bilingual is a huge one for sure. There's so many different, like there's Puerto Ricans, there's Cubans, there's Dominicans, like there's so many people that know Spanish that I feel like being bilingual is such a huge asset that people just don't understand. Like, I don't know, I think it's one of the most beneficial things to be able to communicate, like whether it's in a language, whether it's in like a type of code, whether it's even just to like kids. It's such an asset to be able to communicate, and having another language, especially Spanish, is like such a huge asset. But other than that, I think that, I don't know, there's a lot of pride that comes with being Latino. Me, like, I don't know, all my family's from Mexico. They came from Torreon straight to like El Paso and then to like Colorado, kind of like the route that they were talking about at that exhibit, which is insane to me that like I never
put it together.
Yeah, I never put it together that like my family was doing this. Like they were actually
You're part of that history.
Yeah, I'm part of the history that they're like migrating, and now I'm able to kind of.
You're the dream.
Yeah. I was like, holy crap! Like, it's insane to me to kind of have a CT, like a coming to Jesus moment, where I'm like, damn, I can like look back and realize like they were really struggling to.
They put those stepping stones for you. I was just not recently, but about 10 years ago, I realized that I'm the dream of like parents, like the dream that they've left the country seeking for. Like I'm that dream, and they probably won't get to see the American dream that people seek.
Right.
But me and my sister, we're the ones that get to live, the dream.
I think that being able to plan so far ahead, I don't know. I think just being Latino also comes like having to plan for generations to come. Like, all the Latino families that I know are huge. They're big, and I've just now recently come to realize like I need to plan even further than my own future if I really want to succeed in this, or I need to plan ahead of my company's future in the next week or so. I need to plan like 4 years from now.
Because you get to build that generation wealth. You're the first for many generations.
I'm the first that gets to reap the benefits of not having stereotypes of like, oh, Latino shouldn't work here, or
you don't know the language, you can't communicate.
Yeah. And so going back to like where it kind of all started from, I did debate for 4 years. I was a state qualifier, state competitor for all 4 years, and in doing so, another kind of like inspirational person in my life, this guy's name is Mr. Ray, and he was my debate coach for those 4 years. And he definitely was one of those people who instilled in me, like, you know, not every judge is going to favor you because of the color of your skin. And that's just the plain facts, you know what I mean? Because we were debating people in eastern Kansas and places like Topeka and stuff like that, you know what I mean? And so they're more predominantly white, especially in a competition like debate, where it's people are there and they're wanting to, like, they're using this to put it on their resume. So, like, they're going to try their hardest to compete against you. And so for him to teach me that, and kind of, he told me, like, then that should make you be 10 times more prepared in the room with that judge, in the debate room. And so that was one of those things where I was like, okay, I'm gonna go even harder. And he taught me a lot about manners and how I should present myself with people, or even in just like the business room. And that turned into me going into like youth entrepreneurship, which is like a club that they had at DCHS, the high school that I went to. And I was able to, they taught us how to make our own business models, like how to kind of estimate how much money you're going to be asking for, because not all businesses are brought up by the capital that you have yourself, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's about like asking for loans, or sometimes it's about like asking investors to invest in you. They taught us a lot of different things like that, so it kind of influenced me to take what I learned and actually do it, like put it to work, and see if I actually held on to anything while I was in school.
How do you stay connected to your roots?
To my roots?
Because I imagine that in Western Kansas, you were close, you were living it there with the tianguis, with everything that you mentioned.
Yeah.
But here in Kansas City, it's a bigger city. You didn't know anybody.
Yeah,
like, how are you keeping connection with that?
So, it was the craziest transition, just moving to the Midwest in general, because when I lived in California, I spent like so many of my summers in Mexicali, because I live so close to Calexico, like that the border was 5 minutes away from where I lived, like for real. And so, not even, or 10 minutes from where I lived. But we would go to Mexicali like every Saturday, or if not, we would spend our summers like out there just hanging about. And so when I moved to the Midwest, it was really hard for me to like keep up with my roots. So I kind of just had to, I don't know, I had to do it myself. Like I had to continue to listen to the music that I liked, instead of changing with times.
What do you listen to?
I listen to a little bit of everything, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's on your playlist? Latino?
Yeah, I always have like a bunch of corridos on there. Nice. I listen to like Nathaniel Cano and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But I grew up on like Joan Sebastian and stuff like that. I grew up on those guys, and like Valentina Elizalde and people like that. You know what I mean? But now I listen to like a lot of Ozuna and stuff like that. You know, that's what my music taste is kind of transitioned to.
Tell us about your music, because you also make music. I forgot. Dang.
I've been doing music.
That's okay, we're good.
Okay.
I've been doing music professionally now for like 2 years. I started maybe like 6-7 years ago, but I've always loved music. Like it's one of the biggest things in the Latino culture is music. Like every weekend we would have family over, and the biggest thing is having a speaker system to play music while we all talk, while we all hang out, while we all eat. And it wasn't like we all sit around the TV. It was we all sit around and listen to music. You know what I mean? And at the end of the night, I just always remember we would all end up singing some karaoke or something like that, and we would all be singing along together. And so music has always been, and I think for like every Latino, is like a huge part of our culture. Yeah. And so transitioning into doing music like by myself, initially I'd started like in 2015, 2016. I launched like SoundCloud, and I was like, let's do it. Let's see how it goes. Initially, I started singing corridos. Like I would sing.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
And they would put me up on like, I was so little. I was probably like 6, 7. And they would put me up on like a truck, and I would sing for like my uncles, and I would just be like singing some corridos. And they'd be like, otra, Dani. And I would be like, all right, well, I'll sing another one then. And I don't know, regardless of how bad they were doing at the time, it felt like they were having such a good time just watching me sing. I knew they were just drinking and having a good time, but even then, like, them being able to put aside all of the struggles that they're going through at the time, all of the issues that they might be going through at work, or any of the milestones that they have to cross. They put that aside all to be with their family and listen to music. And so that was such a beautiful thing to me growing up. So yeah, I've been doing music professionally for like 2 years. I've been doing shows all over. I've done festivals in Colorado. I've done shows in California. I've done shows here.
Where can people find you? What's your name? Yeah, where can we listen to your music?
I mean, you can find me on Spotify, Apple Music. The only thing I don't have is YouTube. You can find me on SoundCloud.
We will be in there.
Yeah, I'll get there here soon. I just haven't really had the time to like record any music videos or put as much effort as I do into like studio time to do so. But even then, I have my own little business that I got going on. So half the time I'm recording stuff for other people that I can't even shoot my own video. But Spotify and Apple Music, just look up Danny DT3. I have a song out right now called Bliss. If you look up Bliss with a question mark on there, it'll pop up. I'm about to start releasing more Spanish music for those of you who like Ozuna, Bad Bunny, and all of them. It's going to be a little bit more like Latin beats, kind of what is been the influence of like me growing up, basically. Latin beats were huge.
I think so. I think after 2000, the Latin music got bigger.
It's insane actually how like
it was
now,
a boom.
Now it's like Peso Pumas on the Billboard 20, and
that was crazy.
No single word of English. Bad Bunny too. No words in English.
So any words that you have for young entrepreneurs or young Latino entrepreneurs?
Okay.
Yeah.
Some advice that I would have is definitely stick with it. Like if you have an idea that you want to pursue, do not let anybody tell you different, regardless if it's your parents, regardless if it's a girlfriend that you have, regardless if it's anybody. Just stick with it. If you believe in it truly, I 100% believe that us as Latinos have like something within us that just wants us to strive for more, from migrating to the US for something better to being able to like start up our own businesses here, open up our own shops here, start up our own events here. It's crazy to me that like the culture has come here how it has, and we've been able to build something so beautiful in the United States, as well as, or like bring a little bit from
our
each part, here.
Yeah.
And to do so, I don't know, it's just like so inspiring, and I hope that they can take a bit and piece from that, and that it inspires them to do so, because just as of late is when I've really started to like be proud of like my heritage, because I used to not be. I used to almost be not ashamed, but I used to kind of hide it. I used to be wanting to dress like the debaters that I saw who were winning these matches and stuff like that. And instead of wanting to listen to the music that I was listening to at parties, I would play something else, you know what I mean, to just kind of fit for somebody else's taste and stuff like that. But now I'm like, I don't even, like, I'm so proud of my heritage now that I know more. I also encourage Latino young entrepreneurs to like look into their heritage, because sometimes you might find something that you didn't know before that'll give you a new breath of life, or that'll give
you can draw power. Do you have any resources, any people that people can reach out and get help if they're thinking of starting their own business, their own adventure?
As far as like resources, I definitely encourage everybody to reach out to like the Latin Arts Foundation and the LEC. They're two amazing resources that have information on other businesses that will help you out, and even just like networking with other people that are in the same field as you is also always beneficial. So even if you're wanting to reach out to me and ask me any questions about how I started any of like the sponsored ads that I've been created as of late, or working with the businesses that I have been, even use me as an asset. You guys can find me on like Instagram at Danny for short with the number 4, or at High Resolution Media. It's @ high resolution. Instead of high, it's like high. And so High Resolution Media. You guys can find me on Instagram and Facebook and stuff like that. So if you guys are wanting to check out any of my work, it'll be there. But that's pretty much it for me. My name is Danny Soriano. I own High Resolution Media, and it's been a great time here
Yeah.
with you guys.
Hiking with
and
Ivan.